With Mary Lambert, a Grammy nominee.
Thank you, little Lambert.
Yes.
Just kidding, I wanted to be like you. I was trying to impress you.
Hey, I'm impressed already, so that works for me. Well, welcome to Colorado.
Thank you.
And so excited to be here with you, and you're performing tonight. Mm-hmm. And how excited are you for tonight?
I'm very excited. The room is really cool. I don't think I've ever played in a room like that.
It's kind of got almost like a wine vibe to it a little bit.
Maybe. I just think of like a space. Like I think I've been playing in space.
Right.
So, very angular.
That works. So if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a couple questions about just kind of throughout your career and all that. So, of course, I had a Wikipedia I had to check out what you're all about. So you started playing piano, self-taught, at the age of 6.
Mm-hmm.
So since then, how many other instruments or stuff like that have you self-taught yourself?
I've self-taught myself. I've learned how to play quite a few instruments, but as far as keeping up, no. Mm-hmm. My main instruments now are cello and guitar, piano. So, but I like to say that like my at least for my piano is that's probably my best instrument, and then guitar is more of like for me it's like a sacred thing that I haven't learned theory or anything. I kind of just play. I'm like, this sounds good.
Just kind of dabble.
Yeah, but I used to play violin and upright bass.
Oh, wow.
And electric bass for jazz band.
Oh, wow, I definitely would not have seen that coming.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those were my instruments.
So here's a tidbit that like not even our listeners know, but when I was in high school and like junior high and elementary, I actually played the trumpet too.
You did?
I did. So I had to play.
I could see you playing the trumpet.
Well, hopefully that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, totally. I feel like there are people that look like they play certain instruments.
I would definitely agree with that.
Like you were definitely a clarinet player,
Yeah, exactly. So when it comes to guitar,
right?
What kind of feeling, because there's a lot of different types of guitar playing you can do, whether it be like from classical to just straight up acoustic to more like a jazz feel to all that. What would be the kind of feeling that you do with the guitar?
I mean, it's definitely singer-songwriter. It's very much like I grew up on Jewel, so Jewel was like one of my biggest inspirations, and I played a bunch of, I guess, just singer-songwriter things. What else did I'm like a lot of finger picking, mostly just chords that I learn and then just try to form songs around it.
Perfect. So that basically takes me to my next question is, you've been compared to, as far as your style goes, to like Adele, for instance, and like Tori Amos. You would just said that Jewel was your biggest inspiration.
Yeah.
Besides Jewel, who else would you say has really influenced you musically?
Definitely Tori Amos.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite music teachers sort of snuck me a Tori Amos record.
Nice.
And I was like 12. And I was like, it changed my life.
That's awesome.
And so actually, I sought out Tori Amos's producer.
Really?
To make my album. So Heart on My Sleeve was produced by Eric Ross, who produced Under the Pink.
That's awesome.
It was definitely very influential. And let's see, Tori Amos, Jewel, James Taylor, the Dixie Chicks.
I can see that a little bit.
Yeah.
I can see that a little bit.
And then I got into musical theater, so I loved musical theater. And gosh, there
for whole performing Broadway style.
Yeah, and then I loved alternative rock, so I was like super into Weezer and Third Eye Blind. And when I turned 19, I was really active in hip hop and doing
kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Well, that brings up the next thing then is obviously you had the smash hit with Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. How did you guys end up coming together?
Actually, it was through the spoken word community.
Really?
It was because I was active. Like the spoken word community and the rap communities in Seattle, I think, are pretty intertwined, and it's just also it's very just a communal environment where people really care about each other and want everybody to succeed.
Nice.
And basically, in my writing, especially my performance poetry, I was talking about sort of the dichotomy of being a Christian lesbian and what the implications meant and how it felt like I was sort of walking around feeling like a contradiction.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I was exploring a lot of my writing. I didn't feel every time I sat down to try to write a song around it, it felt very contrived and inauthentic. So I had sort of decided that I wasn't going to talk about either being gay or Christian in my music, which is very funny that we did Same Love because
exactly. Wait a minute here.
Okay, all right, universe, like I got it.
Yeah, that's awesome though. So, was there anything that, you know, with working with Macklemore and Ryan Lewis that you took, that I guess you took away from them that you maybe learned from them?
Sure, yeah, oh gosh. I mean, I toured with them for 2 years, so I soaked in so much of how they ran their machine. I mean, they're independent. They have no record label.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So they contracted a lot of things out. They have a really solid core team, and they're very. I mean, it's just they're very smart people, and so I tried to take in as much as I could, and then with sort of that body of knowledge and knowing what the industry was sort of like on the other side, there were pros and cons I saw to signing with the label, but I ultimately decided to sign. And Ben and Ryan are very close too.
That's awesome.
So they're like my brothers.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So as far as like touring goes, when you were first really starting out, before you kind of hit the mainstream, you know, going around to different gigs, you know, playing that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
like that all you budding musicians do. How would you say that, I guess, a change from going to more like, you know, actually touring across the country?
Right.
What has been the biggest change for you that you really just was like kind of shock value to, like, what the hell?
Yeah. Well, okay, because my like touring experience has been so varied, because I was doing clubs with Macklemore and Ryan when we first started out. Before then, I was playing shows to like 5 people. 15 if I was like very lucky.
On a good day.
Including my family. That was when my family came to shows.
That's awesome.
So after that, I did a big club tour with Macklemore where, like, I mean, people were just so hype, and it was awesome. And then the next tour I did was an arena tour with Macklemore, and then after that, I did a very, very small solo tour, and I booked my own tour, and I signed with my own agent. I did 14 cities. I drove myself. I was like, sold my own merch. It was very much
your car was your
a DIY. Like I wanted the experience of doing it all, so that I knew sort of what I wanted in all of those, I guess, positions. Like I knew what I wanted in an agent or a tour manager, and like these things that I felt confident that I was doing, and so I did that tour, and then I did. And then the arena tour happened. So it was like all of these varying degrees of touring. And then I opened for Gavin DeGraw and Matt Nathanson over the summer.
Yeah, I saw that you were on tour with him.
So there was also a totally different vibe, because I mean I'm playing at like 5 p.m. to like moms and, you know, old people and babies, and we're all crying, and so it's like totally my demographic. And now this is my first headlining tour, so this awesome. Feels really, really good. And I feel like I've garnered like enough experience to where I know what I want, and I know my crew and everything.
So with being on tour, what's been the biggest shocker for you, as far as just like you just came into something or something happened, you were just like, really? Or what?
I guess it's just the amount of time that you're on the road. I mean, like, because I guess it's the career in general. Like, it's not just touring, because you're just constantly flying out to do shows. So I guess the shock is that I'm only home for like 3 or 4 days a month if I'm lucky, if that. Like, I haven't really been home since 2 months ago. So, like, literally I haven't walked to my door. And that's just part of the deal.
Oh, yeah.
And then when I do go home, it's like for 3 days, and so that for me was like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that, because there's people are like, oh, you're going to this city, like you're going to London. I'm like, I don't have time to go explore. Like, it's literally a part of my job.
Cool. You walk in, you perform, you leave, you're out next time.
Yeah, like the cities sort of blur together. So I mean, like, it's so much fun to see the varying, groups of people, and all the people excited about you, and but that was one thing that shocked me, was just sort of, I guess, the time.
Nice. So if you had a chance, I know you touched on Jewel being one of your biggest influences. If you had a chance to collaborate with anyone besides Jewel, you've obviously did Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, but if you had a chance to collaborate with anyone, actually I'm going to do one more, and James Taylor too.
Okay.
If you could collaborate with anybody else, who would you like to collaborate with?
I have a couple people that I would absolutely. I love Feist. I'm a huge Feist fan. I think that would be really fun. I'd love to do a song with Kendrick Lamar. I'd love to do a song with Drake.
There's a lot of people that want to do stuff with Drake.
I mean, he's so smart. He's so smart, and he's got such a unique sensibility and incredible musicality to what he does. So smart. His lyricism is on point. Natalie Maines from Dixie Chicks too.
Of course, I was waiting for the Dixie Chicks to come in. It's all good. So I have to ask like one weird question because that's just how I am.
Okay.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
I mean, if I could fly, obviously that would be. I would want to fly. I think everybody wants to fly. But
some people do fly in their own ways.
There are nights where I have flown.
Right? Exactly.
But I think that, or like having the capability to have like healing hands, to where I could actually like if someone would get a bullet wound and I would just heal them.
Like on TV?
Yeah, like Wolverine. Does Wolverine do that? No, he just does it to himself.
Maybe that's what it is,
Yeah.
But I would definitely have
I would be like Wolverine to the world.
There you go.
I would be a worldly Wolverine.
Perfect. I love it. So, one last question I have to ask. Since when we walked in, we saw it.
Yeah.
Your plant.
Yeah!
Tell me about your plant. Tell me about your plant.
My plant's name is Ray Ray.
Your plant has a name too? I love it. I love it.
It's lonely on the road. But the deal was, my girlfriend came to my show in Boston, and we live in Massachusetts, and I got a plant, and I was like, I was going to give her the plant to take home, but she's also going on tour for months at a time too, because she's a pop singer too. And so I was like, you should take this plant home. It's cat friendly. And she's like, I'm not gonna be home. You should keep it on PETA friendly.
Right. So
I was like, okay, I'll keep this on the bus. And I'm crying because I'm like, we're not gonna see each other for a while. So I'm like, I'll name it. And she's like, Ruru, that's a good name. That's a good name, honey. I was like, okay, yeah, Ruru.
So that's the meaning of the plant. I love it.
I'm taking care of it like I would a kitten.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me. I'm Lil Joe with 99.9 The Point here with the Grammy nominee Mary Lamberts. Thank you so much for taking some time to talk to me.
Thank you.
And good luck tonight.
Thank you.